Hello. Hi, my name is Shawn Kinley. I'm from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I'm an improviser at the Loose Moose Theatre, and this is my pussy, cat. I travel about 9 months of the year, and every continent except Africa, but I'll see that Africa in January 2013. And what I notice is that wherever improvisation starts, the people who start it up tend to want to take ownership of it. They want to make some money off it. They think that they are the leaders and the rulers of improvisation in that area. Second generation comes up, they're students, and then they start to push up against the original group, still using their style, so the style kind of stays the same. And then third generation comes up, and they start to explore and make improvisation an art form as opposed to just being representation of the improvisers before. And they start to understand that improvisation is for everyone. For individuals, I think a lot of individuals start improvising and they all go through the same phase of excitement and amazement that this is so easy and exciting and wonderful. Most improvisers go through a frustrating phase where nothing seems to be working, they can't seem to develop, and at that point many of them will give up for a short time or a long time, and when they come back to it they seem to be much better because they're not in their head and the improvisation flows out much more. So those are some patterns I see. There's a lot of patterns. I think it's really interesting the way we as human beings go through the same cycles and as groups go through the same cycles. I like Latin American improvisation, especially at the core of it, before it became too influenced by external influences. The connection to the physical and the emotional, I think, has a strong impact on improvisation on that continent. I think the danger is that the people in South America may not look 100% at their style and say, this is something very good that we can explore and push further, but they may look abroad and say, oh, we want to become this style or that style. And I've seen it happen in some groups, but generally I love the improvisation there. I think it's nice and core centered and physical. When I'm in a class, I try to get the ego aside and say I haven't been teaching this for 25 or 30 years, but that this student is someone new that can teach me. And 9 times out of 10, most of the inspiration comes from watching a student make a mistake, play with an idea, not get too serious. I think as I get older and more people say, oh, let's sit here quietly and listen to Shawn teach, I get less inspiration. I get more inspiration by playful people who work with me as opposed to learn from me. So I get most of my inspiration from others, and often watching children. Children's play is organic and true at some level, and you can find really good ideas coming from that. There's inspiration everywhere. I used to get inspiration from the National Film Board of Canada cartoons, watching them on TV, the animation, and the abstract movement and ideas always inspired something. The trick is just don't censor any ideas and think that everything is possible. No, I was never masturbating. When I was 6 or 7 years old in my backyard, we had this little rubber pool, like every kid kind of had in their backyard. And there was no water in it. My mother was off doing something, and I said, "Can we fill it up with water?" And she said, "Oh no, I don't have time." I said, I'm going to do this myself. And so I went inside. I got this little cup because that's all I could find. I went inside, and it was a long distance, filled it up with water, and filled up the pool. It would take me years to fill up that pool. And then some guy noticed me and says, do you want some help? And he filled up the pool for me. And I realized at that moment, if you want to do something, you take the first step. Even if you don't see that step fulfilling the full picture, you take the small step. And as improvisers, that's what we should always do, is take the first obvious step, move forward, and then things will work in the end. That's what I believe.
Okay, thank you very much.
My cat has changed. You're not going to use that, are you?